to the Choice, Change and Action podcast, where you get to choose, change and take action to create a different today and a different future. These are my stories of choice, change and action, along with the phenomenal guests I have on here. From a really young age, I've always desired to create a change in the world. The planet has been a constant inspiration to me, and Access Consciousness has shown me the tools to know that anything is possible. And I keep choosing. What are you going to choose? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast. You are with me, your host, Simone Milasas. And today I'm actually going to be talking about, I think it's a pretty interesting topic, and it's about being vilified and how do you handle that? So I had a couple of people that wrote in some questions, and they were asking for some advice with this. And recently, I've been vilified on social media for various reasons, etc. And it's been very interesting to know how to handle that and how do you handle that. There's an amazing documentary on Netflix about Beckham, the soccer player, and you watch that, he was vilified by his whole entire country, and he still kept choosing what he was choosing. He knew what he desired to choose, and I think that's really important. So I've got a few things that I want to talk about today, and I got some questions sent in. So I'm going to deal with those questions first. And the first question is, do you remember the first time when a hater spoke up publicly about you? And what was that experience, and how did you navigate through it? What tools did you use? Interesting scenario. I've written 3 books. The first book I wrote is called Joy of Business. It's translated, I think, into 17 languages now, and has had a huge amount of people that have reached out to me and thanked me a lot for the book. Now, I want to add this piece in here right now. It's really interesting. You'll have like 100 people be so grateful, and you have one person who's not. And how often do you take that one person, take that one person's point of view as meaning something rather than the 100 people who are grateful? That is something that you need to learn to navigate, is not to put your attention on what is evil, what is mean, what is not true. Don't put your attention on the lies. It's like, you've got to be so true to you. So the first time I remember when I was publicly hated, and facts and figures, ladies and gentlemen, I am known as a public figure. So you cannot take legal action. You have to just receive it. So there you go. So the first time I was actually in Italy, and the second book I ever wrote is called Getting Out of Debt Joyfully. And I woke up in Italy, and at that time, my PR agent was based in Australia. So they were already awake, and she was freaking out and, call me sort of thing. And I went, okay. And I called, and some guy had started putting out there that Getting Out of Debt Joyfully, the book, which if you haven't read the book, you can get it on Amazon, all those places you can get books online. And it's my story. It's, I was $187,000 in debt. I knew I was having a problem with money, but I wasn't quite sure what it was like, until I actually put my attention on it and started to notice it and started to, I guess, gather the information of my financial reality and start to implement the Access Consciousness tools, which, breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, actually got me out of debt. Okay. So the book is based on that. It's based on all of the Access Consciousness tools that I used to change my financial reality. And there's a hell of a lot of stories in there of what I chose, how I chose, the places I stumbled and fell and got myself back up again. And for me, I get it's quite vulnerable, right? So I woke up one day in Italy, and my PR agent was freaking out. And this guy had said that I was like snake oil. So snake oil is supposed to be, something that it's filled with lies, etc. So he was saying that about my book. And immediately, now this is what I want you to take notice of. Immediately, I started freaking out because my PR agent was freaking out. And then I went, hang on. I said, just let me go have a shower. So I went and had a shower and came back out, and I went, okay, what's actually really going on here? And so I rang her back and looked at it, and I said, I'm okay. I said, I'm okay. I know that I wrote that book. And by the way, I had a ghostwriter who wrote it from my stories. And one of the people who's vilifying me at the moment is putting out there that I didn't even write the book. And I'm like, it's called a ghostwriter. Okay. A lot of people have ghostwriters, and it's based on all of my own material, my own stories, etc. But yes, I had a ghostwriter. So he was putting out there that this snake oil, etc. And I knew that I said, I've used these tools. They worked. I know my story. I know my life. Nobody knows my life like I know it. Nobody knows your life like you know it. So I knew that I had created myself to be quite a financial mess. I knew that the insane reasons that I was choosing to create my life as a financial mess, I changed them. And I knew I did it with the Access Consciousness tools. And I I did not like a lot of those tools to begin with. And I will say that like publicly anywhere. A lot of those tools that changed my financial life, I did not like. I thought they were not the smartest tools. I was like, this does make no sense to me. But here's the thing, and I'm so grateful. This is the leadership thing that you have to look for in you. I knew I needed to change something. I needed to change something. So I knew I needed to try something different, flip my script, as I like to say. So I did. And I had the book. And the book, I think that book is translated into about 10 or 12 languages, and it's been very, very successful. So to have this guy, put out there that I was snake oil and everything I was talking about is lies, etc., that's his point of view. He is totally allowed to have his point of view. But I don't have to buy his point of view as real and true and start to freak out. So a lot of media wanted to do interviews with me, and I said yes. And my PR agent said, they're going to vilify you. I said, it's okay. I know what I'm choosing is true for me. And can I actually say at this stage, true for thousands of people? There was thousands of people who have read my book or done the Getting Out of Debt Joyfully courses. We actually have an online course available at the moment that you can do at your own pace. Thousands of people who have changed their financial reality. I got a message on Instagram the other day from a guy in Colombia who said he randomly found my book, because it's in Spanish, randomly found my book. And he said, I'm working at this book. I've been reading it. I'm writing down the tools and I'm starting to use them. And hopefully I can meet you one day when you come to Colombia and you do a class and I can actually, quote unquote, afford to go. I was like, great. Like, let's do that, And there's another lady who, through all the current vilification that is going on for me, and I actually have no idea if it's still going on because I haven't looked. It's like I looked for like 48 hours and I went, oh, that's not doing me any good. And I'm going to talk to you about that as well. And then I just stopped looking and started living my life. But as that was occurring, there was one lady who reached out to me, and she is from Brazil. The book is also in Portuguese. And she said, Simone, I've never told you this. And I've known her for a little while. And she said, I've never told you this, but I was ready to basically end my life. She said, I was in so much debt. I was ready to end my life. I wasn't happy. And she said, two things happened. Two things showed up. She got her bars run, which if you don't know about bars, I highly recommend checking that out on accessconsciousness.com. Bars is amazing. It's a hands-on process, 32 different points on your head, and starts to eliminate and delete, all the thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and all the crap that you have going on. So it starts to delete it so you can have this space, that space of you, and find out what's your reality. What's your point of view? So she got a bars run, and she also found the Getting Out of Debt Joyfully book. And she said, I never told you this, but I want to let you know that you changed my life, getting my bars run and doing that book. She's now one of the most successful Joy Business facilitators. So there are Joy Business facilitators based on my first book using Access Consciousness tools. You can find out more about them at accessjoybusiness.com. There is so much going on. So she's now one of the most successful facilitators, and she was going to end her life. Okay, I'm a success. I'm a success. If you change one person's life, you are a success. So that first time that I was publicly hated, that I know of, I mean, there could have been other times, but that's the one I really know of, is I really had to make the demand of myself that I'm not sure what the right word is here, but like it's like stand my ground to me, be true to me. I knew that those tools in that book worked. I've used them. Other people have used them. But most importantly, I've used them and they worked for me. If other people choose to use those tools, that's their choice. If they choose not to use the tools, that's their choice too. I'm not trying to make people use access consciousness tools at all. I'm inviting you to find out if you'd like to change any area of your life that you think is not working for you, and perhaps these access consciousness tools could contribute to that. That's it. I mean, even today, if you just start asking yourself questions of what else is possible, how does it get any better than this? You can start to change the trajectory of your life. So I guess the main tools I used was being in question. And I'm going to say there's a strength that I gained. And every single time there is some sort of vilification or hatred, etc., I think there's a strength that grows in people who choose it. If you can choose the strength, or you can choose to be a victim and just crumble down, which is what most people haters desire for you to do, is just crumble down and be a heaping mess on the floor. And it's like, no thanks. Try all you desire, but that's not what I'm choosing. That's not my life. So the next question that was sent in is, was there any advice that someone gave you that was helpful in dealing with other people's judgments? Yeah, I guess the one thing that I'm really looked at as well was judgment's not real. It's not real. It's, I mean, you look at how much you might judge your money, you might judge your business, your relationships, your body, etc. You judge your life. Does judgment ever create anything greater? Have you ever judged money into existence? No. You can request it, you can ask it, you can invite it. Like your body, you don't say judge your body, and then and then you wake up and it's changed. No, you be with your body. You ask it, hey, what would you like to look like? What movement would you like to do today? Like, it's a whole bunch of questions, and that's a whole other topic with bodies. I'm not really trying to do this advertorial thing throughout this podcast, but there's so much available. And I have a 3-month membership for bodies and you, called Hello Bodies, because bodies are amazing. So it's a playground of possibilities for 3 months. So if you want to check that out, you can join that as well. The next question I was sent was, have you ever wanted to quit? And if either yes or no, what kept you going? Yeah, I'm going to be totally honest with you. There is definitely moments that I have wanted to quit doing what I'm doing. And, if I look like way back before Access Consciousness, and I started using Access tools like 22 years ago, I'm working on my next book at the moment. And today I was just, writing down about the situation where I got everything stolen from me. And I was in Sydney, Australia, and I was working at these music festivals, etc. And, I had my own business called Good Vibes for You. And I got everything stolen. And there's a moment that you just go, I've had enough. I want to quit. And I guess that's not from vilification. It's not from judgment. It's just from when life, sometimes slams you down and slaps you across the face. What do you choose? In the face of judgment, I guess there's a couple of times that I have desired to quit. There's one main one that I can think of, and that was years ago. And I was the worldwide coordinator for 18 years for Access Consciousness. And there was 3 women who I heard all these stuff that they were saying about me. And I thought they were my friends. And I rang up Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, and said, I don't know if I can do this job anymore. And he said, what do you mean? And I said, I can't handle the judgments. And he said, talk to me. Tell me what's going on. And there was these 3 women who I really perceived were my friends. And that's a whole other topic as well. And I kept hearing this stuff that they were saying about me. And he said, okay, he said, here's what I want you to do. He said, I want you to have a look at their lives and what they're choosing. And this was not about judgment, and it's still not about judgment. It's just have a look at their lives and what they're choosing. Okay. That's their choice. Their life is their choice. That's it. Okay. But he said, now I want you to have a look at your life and what you're choosing. I went, okay. He said, are you choosing more in this moment? For me, yes, I was choosing more. I was always reaching for more. It's like, what next? What next? What next? And I still am. So for me, that's the life I'm choosing. And he said, okay, are they judging you, or are they judging what they have not yet chosen and might never choose? Again, this is not based on judgment. It's not like my life is better than theirs. My life was different than theirs. And that's the piece that I had to get. That's what I had to acknowledge. My life is different from their lives. Okay, great. I'm not going to try and choose my life to be the same as other people's lives. I choose different. I still choose different. I am different. And if you're listening to this and you're like, damn, I know I'm different too, you are different. Stop trying to fit in. Okay. A really key element that people will judge you and vilify you is when you don't fit, and you like obviously don't fit. People cannot categorize you. Then a lot of the times people will try and judge you and vilify you to, like, I want to say, bring you down a few pegs so that then you can be categorized. Well, I'm not looking to be categorized. I'm not looking to fit into anybody's world. I'm asking each and every day to create my world, to create my reality. My reality includes everything and judges nothing. That's consciousness. My reality includes all of the haters, includes all of the vilifiers. I am learning to take way more, pay way more attention to the people who are grateful for me. And also, that's just an interesting point of view too. I'm so grateful for the feedback I get, and for people I meet around the world who are like, oh my goodness, my whole life has changed from using these tools, etc. Or, I ran into this lady the other day, and hi, you'll know who you are. When I was coming out of something locally in Pigeon Beach, and she said, please don't stop doing your podcast. I said, I won't. I love doing this podcast, and I love getting the feedback from all of you. So please, at the risk of another advertorial, I'm going to do it. Follow us on Choice, Change and Action Instagram as well, and slide into our DMs there if there's anything in particular you'd like me to talk about, because there was a few people who were asking me about this topic. How do you handle this? So that's why I wanted to address this. It's not something that people address all the time. Like, a lot of people look at, if you use business as an example, the pragmatics of having a business, the pragmatics of running a business, the pragmatics of choosing a business and what that looks like. Well, as you become more successful, are you also willing to receive the hatred, the vilification? Are you willing to receive people trying to put you down? And Brene Brown said it perfectly. It was a TED talk that she did. And at one stage she said, if you are the one on stage, and it doesn't have to be literally on stage, although I am, if you are the one at the front, if you are the leader at the front, she said, it's not an if. People will judge you. So how are you going to handle that? So how many of you are holding yourselves back based on other people's points of view? Please stop. It's up to you though. And everything at that is times a godzillion, we destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine, shorts, boys, provids and beyonds. So that story of how I almost quit my job based on other people's judgments, I'll never forget that, because it was like gold. So anytime that there is that place where there's hatred or vilification or judgment, again, it's not real. And I always look at that and just check in with myself. Am I happy with my choices? Because if I'm happy with my choices, keep going. And I get that's what a true leader is somebody who is happy with all the choices they are making, no matter what. So the next question that was sent him is, someone said, you said this, so they're quoting me. Are you going to slow yourself down, or are you going to amp yourself up and be everything you can be with no holding back? Not caring what other people think, because you are the true leader and you know exactly what you want to create in the world. And they're asking me if I can say more about this. I can. And what I want to do right now is I actually want to read this read something from a class that Gary Douglas did in Washington, D.C. many years ago. It's actually a free class. If you sign up to Access Consciousness and have an account, it's in your account. So we'll put the link in the show notes below. Don't forget to subscribe to the show notes because there's so much good stuff in these podcasts. So, and it's called The Leaders of the Future. This is from his class, and this to me explains it really, really well. The time is now. We cannot wait and watch any longer. It's time to stand up and demand the change that's required for a greater future. We cannot be quiet while the current leaders of the world are degrading so much of what is great about mankind. We are the people that can choose to lead the change towards a future we would like to live with. Human rights have been abolished. National parks have lost protection. Nations are being divided and young lives are being lost to gunfire. It seems obvious that change is required, and yet the people seem lost for direction when looking at the current leaders of the world. That is why I am asking you to stand up and take action. Be the leader of your future and demand that this changes no matter what it takes. Your time is now because you are alive. Here with this world and all its inhabitants at this time. You are not separate from it. You are a part of this world and the way in which it gets created. It's how we engage with the world that shapes how it shows up every day. It's all of the choices we make and some that we don't make that shifts the future of the world. When we make different choices, different possibilities become available. What possibilities are available to us that we have not yet considered? What future is available that we can now choose? When we stand up and demand to be the leaders of the future is when we open the doors to receiving the possibilities of what that can be. Being the leader is about the choices we can make now for the future we desire. Every choice you make contributes to creating the future. What future would you like to create? I often say, never wait, always create. For me, it's this place where I realize that action is required now to change what is going on, so that the world can have a greater possibility for the future. It's not going to happen if I wait. So I am always looking for the choices that are available that I can choose right now that begin to change things. I never wait. I always create. When you ask for change and demand it of you, the universe starts to contribute to your request and drops the gifts of choice and possibility that lead the way to the creation of a different future. You have to demand it and you have to choose it. It's called being a leader of the future. So for me, that is such a key piece about being a leader. And, you know, it's so interesting for me when like people vilify you, haters, and it's like, wow, that's the life you're choosing? Okay, then good for you. I'm choosing something entirely different. I am every day I am reaching out into the entirety of the world and asking what I can be today that is a contribution to the earth, to the planet. I mean, people can be crazy. And there was one night when, you know, all this stuff, and like I said, I don't know if it's still going on because I haven't looked. It was one night when there was, you know, I'll, you know, be honest with you, when I started to look, because people were pinging me going, oh my God, are you okay with what, you know, this woman and people were saying about me? And so I did look. And then that night I went to bed going, this is insane. There's people drinking seawater in Israel to survive. And people are doing this on social media and being mean and cruel and unkind. It's a choice and everybody gets to choose. And for me, it's like, what are you going to choose? Are you going to be a true leader for you, for your life, for this world, for this planet? And it's friggin' amazing. So I just have a few points here that I wanted to call upon as well, just to give you some tools that you can take away. So I think I've got 5 for you. Okay, so number 1, most people spend their entire life either trying to be like others or be liked. I'm going to say it again. Did you get that? Most people spend their entire life trying to be like others or be liked. What if you started liking you? So ask yourself the question, who do you think of before you choose? When you choose something, who do you think of before you choose? Most people go, oh, my kids, my husband, my wife, my business, my da da da. What if you were the priority? And it's not about separation. If you choose for you, you show everybody else that they can choose for them. So what if you start being a leader in your own life? So number 2 is I invite you to have a look at what is the bigger picture? What are you here for? So for me, I'd like to invite people to a different possibility. And for me, that starts with being in question. And it's one of the key tools of access consciousness is be in question, ask questions. Like literally, where is my energy required today? Like I gave out before, what else is possible? How does it get any better than this? What can I receive today that I wasn't willing to receive yesterday? Because a question will open up the possibilities. An answer and a conclusion, whoop, it shuts it down. So if you're being in question, and what are you looking to create with your life? So ask the question when you choose, what are you looking to create with this choice? What future will be created by this choice? And if you need to, take a moment. Like quite often I'll just indulge in the energy because I'm like, oh, this, you know? And it's like I indulge in the energy. Oh, what future is going to be created if I choose this? And for me, a lot of the times, I really would like people to have everything that they would like. And you meet someone and you're just like, this person's amazing. They're awesome. The possibilities, yay, this energy. So I want to give them everything. And being a facilitator of access consciousness, I have learned to talk about tools, talk about, different information, etc., when people can hear it. Because you can't give something to someone when they can't hear it. It's actually unkind. So as I'm like, hey, this is available, ask, what future am I trying to create with this choice? Is this person, can they hear it? Are they ready for it? So relax, 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 and work on being that true leader for you as well. So number 3, I would say, is do something you love. Like, what is joyful for you? Stop referencing other people for how you choose your life. What do you like? What do you love? Choose that. Take a moment. Take a long moment. What is it you'd like to choose? What is it you'd want to create as your life? What's joyful for you? Number 4, I'm going to say is relax, 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 relax. So, and this is something I have been gaining a lot of awareness on for quite a few years. In the last couple of weeks, I've gained even more awareness on relaxation. And I'm not saying I've got it at all. I'm getting it. I'm definitely getting it. And I just went for a walk today in one of the national parks that's right near my house. And I usually would have walked and then I would have ran just because, get my sweat on or something like that. I just walked and I walked and I walked and just tapped into nature, pulled, pulled energy from all the trees and the birds and everything and asked them to contribute to me and asked what I could contribute to them. Saw the cutest little birds. Oh my God, it was so awesome. So from relaxation, what do you choose next? Don't force your life. Live it. The 5th one I'm going to say is don't make judgment real. And I mentioned that before, but it's really not. I will never forget when Gary Douglas said to me, when he realized that judgment was nothing but this big black dark hole that got you nowhere, he made the demand of himself that he would stop judging himself and he would stop judging anyone ever. So what if you stop judging you and you stop judging anything? Because if you stop judgment, you actually open up your awareness. You have more awareness about a situation. Now, you might get angry, frustrated, panicky, or any of these things about a certain topic. The next time that shows up, stop, take a big breath, and ask, if I wasn't judging this and if I wasn't making judgment real, what am I aware of? What are you avoiding by choosing judgment and not expanding into your awareness? That's a question. And everything that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9, shorts, boys, provids and beyonds. Now, I've got a couple of clearings here that I want to run to for the end of this podcast. If you would like to find out more about the clearing statement, you can go to theclearingstatement.com. But basically, it's just getting rid of all the crap and the shit so that you can have more space. Because I use nature. I look at nature and I'm like, seriously? People are crazy. And you look at nature and you're like, oh, I'm sure you guys all know what I'm talking about. But what if we could have that no matter where we are? What if we could have that relaxation no matter where we are? And we stopped caring about what other people think. Really? What if you stopped caring about what other people think? What if you just didn't give a shit? And not don't give a shit, hands on hips, petulant, like in resistance. I mean, literally, just don't give a shit. Try that one out. So here's a few processes that I can give you today. So what capacity for limitless possibilities are you avoiding so you can live as though the ordinary life you are living is the sum total of what you can be? And everything that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. What have you made so vital, valuable, and real about the shortening of time that keeps you from creating what is time? Everything that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. What conclusions are you using to validate the limitations of everything you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. How many of you are avoiding the possibilities of every future you are aware of to create the limitations of your life as the rightness you are choosing? Everything that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. What power do you give people over you by the choices you make? Everything that is times a godzillion where you destroy and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pot, all nine, shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds. So we'll have those processes in the show notes. So don't forget to download the show notes, sign up for it, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. We'll have all the notes in there for you. And you might want to record them actually and put them on a loop and listen to them over and over again. Because is this the moment that it's actually time for you to create the life that you were meant to lead? You know? Like, stop holding yourself back for anyone or anything. This is it. This is your life. Start choosing it to the greatest capacity you can. And I'm not saying you have to go 100 miles an hour. If anything, I'm learning that. You know, my friend Dane said to me the other day, Simone, you go 90 miles an hour. Most people go 40 miles an hour. You go down to 82 miles an hour and you go, see, I relaxed. And I was like, God, that's such a good description. And what I am embracing at the moment is a relaxation. Actually, I'm calling 2024 the year of relaxation. Now, I did call 2020 to be the year of chaos. Yes, that happened. So now I'm calling 2024 to be the year of relaxation. And I'm looking at just doing some random things in my Telegram thread. So if you're not in the Telegram thread, maybe you should jump on that too, and it will be in the show notes. So what if we could embrace relaxation? And what if we had no idea what relaxation is and we started to explore that in a really different way? What if that was being the leader of your own life? So thank you so much for joining me here today, and I will see you next time. Please don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on YouTube as well. The Choice Change in Action Instagram. There is so much. You are not alone, okay? You don't have to be alone. You've got this. No matter where you are in the world, no matter what you're choosing, you've got this. And let's have way too much fun. Thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button on your favorite listening platform to get notified of new episodes. We read all the reviews, so if there's any topic you would like to hear about, let us know. If you'd like to know more about the tools, information, and classes mentioned in the podcast, head on over to SimoneMilasas.com and follow me on Instagram at Simone Milasas, or the podcast has its very own link on Instagram at Choice, Change, and Action. Don't forget, you can download the show notes. And lastly, have way too much fun today.